wabarakatuh. Dear Muslim brothers and sisters, and welcome to today's episode of Qur'an Aid with Sarahnade, the um, the live stream where we study and reflect on the meanings of the Holy Quran through the reflections of uh, Sheikh Muhammad Mutwalli Sharawi, like I explained in my very first episode of the series and of this YouTube channel. If you haven't already, I would like to remind you to subscribe so that you wouldn't miss my videos. And if you missed what we were talking about last time, I urge you to watch last full episode, which I'm sure I'm gonna link somewhere. Let me just give you a brief of what happened last time. We talked about different miracles in the Holy Quran and how they're accustomed to when Allah sends messengers, and we talked how many and how different miracles suited every nation because it challenges them in things that they're good at or they're famous for. And we talked about different accusations that the Arab pagans accused Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, with, and their excuses, and how through the Holy Quran, and through logic, these excuses and accusations were easily refuted. And what else did we talk about last time? We talked about divine inspiration, revelation, and the differences between the linguistic sense of the word to inspire or to perform wahi, and the religious sense, the differences. And we also touched upon who Allah sends wahi or inspiration to. Who does Allah inspire to do a certain thing, and how do we know whether or not an urge that we feel is from Allah or whether it's from our own heart, nafs, self. I think this is a very comprehensive recap to what happened last time. Now, to go even more general, in case you're here for the first time and you don't want to stop this video and go and check the episodes that you missed. I believe you missed only 3 full episodes. I do post snippets of the full live streams. But when I talk about Qur'an Aid with Sarahnade, it's a playlist on my YouTube channel, and it contains all the full episodes. So that's what I'm referring to. Now, just to give you an overview, we haven't started reflecting on the Holy Quran yet. This is the introduction. We had 3 episodes, 3 full, like 2.5 hour episodes of introduction, and this is the 4th one, the fourth introduction episode. Hopefully, I'm gonna do my best to finish introduction today and start, inshallah, next time venturing into the Holy Quran. Call to action. A lot of, I've been advised to do the formal YouTuber thing. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would highly appreciate it if you would comment and let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I'm doing my best to answer them. And guys, tell me also in the comments. I need your help. I want to have your opinion. Would you rather that I answer your comments in the comment section, or would you rather that I read them with you live, or in the case of YouTube, recorded, and I answer? Would you rather me answer typing in the comments or video like now? Would you rather I read them or I just respond. So please let me know in the comments down below. What else? Yeah, if you would like to support me in this project, there are links in my bio, or like in this case, the description, to my Patreon. Shout out to Jacques and um Shahid Iqbal. Thank you so much, you guys, for being my first two Patreons. You can also, you have my Cash App link, also my Venmo link. And if you're a fan of TikTok and if it doesn't get banned, you can always support me here. If you would like to be one of my subscribers, shout out to my subscribers. There are too many to count. You guys know how much you mean to me, and you guys have been with me since the beginning a year ago. So, shout out to you. Now, without further ado, I think we're ready to start, and I'm seeing that my regulars are already here. So, I hope they're having a great evening. For those who are in the USA time zone, and a great day for the rest of the world. So let's start. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. No, really. It says so in the book. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Now that we've dealt with the, I don't want to say the philosophy of Islam, but the introduction to how to understand the Holy Quran and reap the most benefits of it. And also we answered most common questions about the Holy Quran. Now we talk about the etiquette of reading the Holy Quran and why such etiquette was revealed to us through Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So now the title of this live stream, the thing that we're gonna discuss is أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. The fact that Allah told us before we read the Holy Quran, we have to say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, which means I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. So let's find out what that is about. طلب الله سبحانه وتعالى من كل مؤمن أن يستعيذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Allah have asked, more like demanded, because when Allah asks you to do something, it's for your own good, and it's Allah. Don't look at how small the thing is, but how great, the person that you're either following or disobeying. To the best of your ability. I understand we're not perfect. There's no perfect Muslim, there's no perfect human, but we do our best. We do our best. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to say we seek refuge, or I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan before you start reading the Holy Quran. Well, let's find out why. إذن فالاستعاذة هي أول التقاء. So this seeking of refuge, therefore, is the first encounter with your Quran, and it should be every time you encounter the Holy Quran. This should be your first encounter, introduction. Even the 5 daily Muslim prayers, when we recite the Holy Quran within them, this is something that we should say. Now, Muslim scholars have not been unanimous whether you should say it out loud in the prayers that should be done out loud, or should it be in secret. But what I found out is that I seek refuge, like أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم and بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, is done in like very quiet voice. And if the prayer is one of the Jahr prayers, meaning the ones that you recite out loud, then you start like being out loud from what's after in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent or compassionate. So again, 5 daily prayers, some of them are to be vocal and some of them whisper. The prayers start with the sunset prayer. This one your voice should be heard. The next one is the evening prayer. Again, your voice should be heard. The like the dawn prayer, your voice should be heard. The noon prayer and the afternoon prayer, those you should be quiet. And any extra voluntary prayers should be quiet as well. Anyways, إذن فالاستعاذة هي أول التقاء بين المؤمن وبين بداية قراءته للقرآن الكريم. والله سبحانه وتعالى يقول فإذا قرأت القرآن فاستعذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. So yeah, like I mentioned, seeking refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan is your first encounter with the Holy Quran, and Allah confirmed this or told us to do it in Surah Al-Nahl or the Bee. I believe it's Surah number, is it 27? Let me double check. No, actually, I think it's 16, but let me double check. Nahl. Ooh, 16, yes. So, chapter 16, verse 98, Allah says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فإذا قرأت القرآن فاستعذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. If you recite the Holy Quran, then first seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. Side note, this is a common mistake a lot of Muslims do, and me as well, I used to do it. I thought that whenever I read any verse of the Quran, whether it's beginning or in the middle, that I should start with in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. No. Every single chapter in the Quran except number 9, the first verse is actually Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. So it's part of the surah. Again, some scholars, like they had a debate, but the general consensus is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is something that you say in the beginning of the surah. Of course, there's an exception. There's one surah that mentions Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim at the beginning and in the middle. I believe it's Surah An-Naml, chapter An-Naml, which is, let's see if I remember. I think it's 20 something. I'm not gonna, I don't want to waste your time. So let's see which one is Surah An-Naml. 27. So yeah, chapter 27 has Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful, at the very beginning, and somewhere in the middle, when Allah was sharing with us the story of Solomon, and there was this part where Solomon has sent a letter to the Queen of Sheba, and she was reading it, and it says, in the name of Allah, because that's what you start as a Muslim, and we believe every messenger and every prophet of God, they were Muslims, meaning they were submitting their will to the will of God. So saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is something that all messengers did. And when he wrote his letter, he started with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, as we should when we do our day-to-day things. Like you often see me before I drink water, I say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. If I'm gonna like turn on the light switch, if I'm gonna start doing, no, the light switch is pushing it. I don't do it when like if I'm turning on the switch of like a device, I'm gonna start cooking, I'm gonna start getting ready to go out. It's preferable, you don't have to, but it's preferable to be in the habit of starting your endeavors with the name of Allah. And once you get into that habit, then in afterlife, inshallah, and I know that we're deviating, but these are my reflections. I don't want to just spend time with Sheikh Sharawi's reflections, because everyone can just watch his lectures or read his books, but I want to also add my input. So those who are in the habit of starting their whichever endeavor or action that they're gonna do, like something, something relatively big. I'm not gonna say Bismillah like each time I walk. So, those who are in the habit of saying it, inshallah, once the books, the records of every single thing that you did, once they um, get handed out to us in afterlife, those who catch their books with the right hands and start with Bismillah Rahman Rahim, um, these are like the good people. So it's good to be in the habit of saying Bismillah Rahman Rahim, because God is gonna look favorably at you if you're one of those people who open their book of records. And by the way, the books are gonna be flying towards us. And the bad people, even if they're like trying their best to catch with the right hand, they can't. They can't. They can't help it. Anywho, let's go back to the book. وواضح أن الآية الكريمة تطلب منا الاستعاذة بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قبل أن نقرأ القرآن، ذلك أن كل مخلوق إذا اتجه إلى خالقه واستعاذ به يكون هو الأقوى برغم ضعفه وهو الغالب برغم عدم قدرته. So it's obvious that Allah wants us to seek refuge in Him from Satan each time that we read the Quran, like we mentioned, because if every creation or creature turn to their creator before they start reading the Quran, it gives them strength despite our weaknesses. We have inherent weakness because we're mortal. Most of us are not very strong towards our desires. So our strength doesn't come from within. We get strength that is, we need sustenance. If you like, no one can just survive forever. No one even can survive without food and water and air. We're not all powerful, you see. So when you re-switch or recalibrate, like you have a device and then, I don't know, like I used to play the guitar. So before I used to play the guitar, I had to tune it so that it would give me the best that it can offer. You see, it's the same. When you start your endeavors, your actions, especially reading the Quran, with seeking strength from Allah, reminding yourself with that agreement, with that pact you made with Him, it tunes you. You're tuned. You're ready to give your best performance, if you will. لأن الله عندما يكون معك تكون قدرتك وقوتك فوق كل قدرة وأعلى من كل قوة. Because when Allah is with you, then your power and your ability is above everyone else's power and everyone else's ability. Because look who you're relying on. لأنك جعلت الله سبحانه وتعالى جانبك, because you have made Allah on your side by remembering Him, by retuning yourself to Him. Kind of like I was watching one of his lectures today, not watching, listening, because I was out running, and I was listening to his lecture, so that he has many lectures about the Holy Quran. And then he turned the lectures into a book, like books, 30 books. So I like to prepare for you guys before I start reading by listening to his lectures. So in his lecture, he said today, and by the way, he passed away, like, I think back in the 90s. So in his lecture, he said it's like when kids are bullying the weaker kid. The weaker kid, once they run to their parent, their dad, and then they hold their dad's hand and they go like, these kids, what are the bullies gonna do? He's not alone anymore. So they just run away. They're scared of the father, right? Same thing. And he also said something very beautiful, very profound. When two nations, or even two people, if you fight against someone and you just rely on yourself, you're not fighting, you know, in like for the sake of Allah, for honor, for self defense, all the legitimate uh, Islamic reasons that allows you to fight back. When you fight someone just because you want to fight someone, it's your strength versus their strength. Whoever's stronger is going to prevail. But if one of the two is linked to Allah, then it's not up to your own strengths and weaknesses anymore. This is why Allah said in the Quran, don't worry about how prepared you are for battle, and don't worry about how much more people they have in their armies. Just be good Muslims and do your best and prepare your best and leave the rest to me. Because it's no longer about numbers and money and preparation once Allah is into the equation. And we saw in Islamic history many battles, like the one that early Muslims fought against the Romans. There was no comparison. We're talking like 3,000 or like 5,000 Muslims versus 50,000 Romans, if I remember correctly. So, and still the Muslims won. So but so if one of the two conflicting parties is linked to Allah, then they're gonna prevail. No questions asked, as long as they're really Muslim, not just Muslims, you know, on paper. And if, like I said, if both of them are not linked to God, so whoever is more like stronger, more prepared, is gonna win. And the third scenario, if both are good Muslims, then they're not gonna fight to begin with. They're not gonna fight anyways. Anyways, let's. Do you guys have any questions? If I don't read your question, because again, this is for YouTube, so I can't treat it like a normal live stream. I hope you forgive me. I don't answer personal questions. I'm sorry. Anyways, let's keep going then. If I don't read your question, please feel free to ask me in the comments on my YouTube channel. I'll do my best to answer every single question. So far, I've answered almost every single question on my social media, Instagram, TikTok, and my YouTube channel. So I'm doing better than I thought when it comes to being responsive. Anywho, لأن الله عندما يكون معك تكون قدرتك وقوتك فوق كل قدرة وأعلى من كل قوة لأنك جعلت الله سبحانه وتعالى في جانبك. Okay, we read that part. ونحن حين نقرأ القرآن لابد أن نصفي جهاز استقبالنا لحسن استقبال كلام الله. Yeah, that's a very good point. When we start or when we attempt to read the Holy Quran, we have to clean our receptors. I have a YouTube video about receptors. And if you want to know which one, I don't remember, but I'm sure Norma, she's one of my subscribers. I know that she asked me a very good question about receptors, so she knows which video. You can ask her. I'm sure she's gonna tell you which one. Anywho, we have receptors. Those receptors affect how we react to the Holy Quran. When we listen to the Holy Quran and when it's being recited to us or when we read it, we could have very different reactions depending on how clean our receptors are. Now, our receptors are natural devices inserted by God into our self to help us find truth. Now, so that means there shouldn't be a confusion which religion is the one true religion. It's really simple. All you have to do is clean your receptors. Like if you're gonna, for example, if you're gonna sell someone like gold or silver, you have to have a very sensitive scale, right? You're not gonna use like the same scale that you use to weigh yourself, right? It has to be very precise because we're talking about something very valuable. So use a device that's very sensitive. And before you use it, you make sure that it's clean. If it has dirt and things, then it's gonna affect the reading. So you clean it, you make it ready to receive the information, to give you the best result. The same thing with your heart. Clean your heart before you venture into, you know, finding truth, or before you start religion shopping, choosing the right religion. That's a beautiful um, journey to embark. That's something that we owe ourselves as human beings. We have to know why we're here and what's after, and we have to find that satisfaction, that, that satisfaction of knowing, like having meaning to your life. Something that people that believe in a religion, these are the ones from my personal experience, are enjoying that, like the best or highest level of that feeling like things make sense. Now, if you want to embark or start that journey, just first work on yourself. Clean your receptors so that you wouldn't miss out on a good religion just because you have bias. So what ruins our receptors? What's the dust that's sitting on our receptors? Media, being programmed, being conditioned, having a closed mind, narrow mind, um, having, yeah, pretty much having like grudges, being angry, especially like using generalization and being angry at a group of people because of a narrative that was sold to you. So you need to work on these things before you attempt finding truth, because other than that, you're just wasting your time. I'm speaking from experience. I was born Muslim, but I chose to put my Islamic belief on hold and completely be unbiased and choose for myself. So, speaking from experience, it's 100% doable, and you owe it to yourself. It's doable and it's necessary. Sit with yourself, take your time, and just try to shed away all the biases. What the media taught you, what movies taught you, what your parents taught you. If you don't do that, you might as well just continue whatever religion you were spoon fed as a baby. So just, but if you truly wanna seek truth, make sure you clean your receptors. And once you do, it's not almost, it's 100%, it's 100% guaranteed. A clean heart always like magnet to the Qur'an. Always. Because a human's heart recognizes its maker. ونحن حين نقرأ القرآن لابد أن نصفي جهاز استقباليا لحسن استقبال كلام الله. شو وفي هذه الحالة لا نفعل ذلك بقدراتنا نحن ولا بقوتنا. So when you attempt to cleanse your receptors, just understand we can't 100% do that on our own, with our own power. So first, send an open message to your creator, regardless which religion. You're not sure yet. Just say, God, I know you're out there. Please guide me. I'm willing to choose whichever religion that you communicate with me through my logic, which the one that makes the most sense to me, I'm gonna choose it, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it goes against my programming. So, and if you don't help me, I can do this on my own. I'm gonna just fall into my temptation and comfort zone and just probably end up where I started. So, seek help from God even before you know which God He is, before you even know His name. If you know that He's here, and like logically, you can't have such a sophisticated universe just from nothing. Nothing can't make anything. By definition, it's nothing. It doesn't have any power, much less intellect to to attempt something remotely as sophisticated as this universe. Anywho, I'm talking too much today, so I need to focus on the book more so that we can start the Holy Quran next time, inshallah. لماذا؟ Why؟ لأن معوقات المنهج عند الإنسان المؤمن إنما هي من عمل الشيطان. Because obstacles on the path, how do I translate this? There are obstacles on the path to you living the way you're supposed to live, getting the most out of this life experience and the one after. This straight path, this right path, this way of living is gonna have obstacles. They're not just, magically put there. They're put there deliberately by Satan. And Allah says this in the Holy Quran. He says, if I remember correctly, وعزتك وجلالك لأقعدن لهم طريقك المستقيم. I swear by your glory and your what's the word عزتك, meaning you don't need anyone else, that I'm gonna be lurking, waiting for them on the straight path. So Satan is not gonna be at the bar. Satan's not gonna be at the brothel. Satan's not gonna be at places where people do evil things. Satan's gonna be on the righteous path. Those who are trying to do the right thing, these are Satan's target audience. But those who are lost, that's his job done for him. He doesn't need to worry about them. Anyways, let's keep going. وإبليس يأتي دائما من الباب الذي يرى فيه المنهج ضعيفا. And Satan always enters, he attacks you from the door where your application of God's righteous way of living is the weakest. For example, I'm still struggling with hijab, so that's the weakest door in my personal experience. I don't like to talk about my personal life, but that's like the best example I could give because I'm feeling it so much. I have other doors, like how I treat my family. Thank God I secured that door. That's locked. How I deal with other people, with there are tons of bad things that can happen from interacting with other people. So me personally, I lock that door by not having any interactions with people that I can do without. Cut. I would much rather, just be alone reading books than just going out and hanging out with friends and have you heard, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. No. No, thank you. No, thank you. This life we're here just temporarily. We're like a farmer preparing, like planting for the harvest of afterlife. So this is just, you know, an investment. So let's not lose track. So these doors I've locked, but some doors, because I'm not a perfect Muslim, I'm not a perfect anything. So they're, as you lock doors and secure them, you get tired. Or like, I don't want to make excuses, but you're not perfect. So your imperfection is gonna, like, one of the doors is not gonna be locked. It's gonna be closed, but not locked. So he do this, do that. Yeah, you're not wearing a veil, right? Okay, so you might as well do your makeup. Okay, so you're not wearing a veil, you're doing your makeup. You might as well exaggerate your makeup, you know? That red lipstick, oh my god, it's so cute. So be very, very careful. Be self aware enough to secure as many doors as possible and wise enough to understand your own imperfect human nature so you don't beat yourself up way too much. Instead, make a plan to find a way to lock that door. And if you don't have the lock ready yet, at least close it, put like furniture, like do something. Don't just, sit there and be vulnerable to his temptation. Anyways, فإذا وجد إنسانا فإذا وجد إنسانا متشددا في ناحية يأتي له من ناحية أخرى. Exactly like I was saying. When Satan finds a human that is very strict on one subject, he doesn't fight with you about it. He comes from another direction, which shows us the differences. And I often get this question, like I get this off, I get this question a lot. I've been asked, how do we know the difference between a sin that was like inspired to us from Satan and a sin that is inspired to us from ourselves? How do we know the difference? First of all, God gave us this litmus test or like thermometer. 1 month a year, Ramadan, the bad jinn, including Satan, they're gonna be in shackles. They don't whisper to you during Ramadan. This holy month of fasting, no, we can't blame Satan for anything during that month. So that's, first of all, it's a good indicator. You know that whatever bad thing you're doing, that's from yourself. So now you have something, like it's not just like supernatural, which even supernatural things, Islam gave us tools to fight against it and guard against it. But now it helps to know where that comes from. But there's an extra thing that I learned, not just Ramadan, because waiting for Ramadan could take months. No, there's a different way, which is sins that you insist on comes from you and often comes from an insecurity. If you are making something wrong, and you could be good at other aspects, but this one thing you keep doing. Someone could be, very a good Muslim, prayers perfect, fasting perfect, charity perfect, doesn't take bribes at work. But when it comes to women, he can't control his eyes. He just can't. And he watches things that he's not supposed to watch. This comes from you, not from Satan. When there is something that you keep insisting on, this one thing, and we all know, like I just shared, for me, it's looks and, accessories, and I should, as a Muslim, I should not be adorning myself and showing my hair, and no, not in public, not to strangers. No, 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 no. That's wrong. This is something I should be working on. But when it comes to Satan, if he's trying to whisper to you to do something wrong and he finds that you're strong, you're not going to do it, For example, if Satan tries to whisper to me, you know, like these people, they have feelings for you and they're trying to DM you for months now. You know, it's harmless, just talk to them. Reply to your DMs. It's okay. Nope. Nope. It might start as innocent and God knows where it can lead. So, I lock that door. I don't respond to DMs. No, thank you. No, thank you. Try, try something else. So he knows that, okay, I'm not going to insist because he doesn't care how you disobey God. He doesn't care which aspect do you disobey God in. He just wants you to disobey God, period. So if one aspect you're strong in, he's going to try something else. And that's how you know. When you're inspired to do something wrong that you don't care that much about, you just do it because you don't even know why you did it. But we all know this, especially when we're angry in an argument. No one sets out to do, I'm gonna say something hurtful. It just, happens. Often out of character. That's from him. When a sin is just spontaneous, Satan is made of fire. Fire is wild, unpredictable, spontaneous even. That's their nature. The Satans of the world. That's their nature. When the sin is not premeditated, insisting, keep doing this. No. Satan just, if he sees one door locked, he's gonna sneak in from the other one. So be careful. فلو أن العبد المؤمن متشدد في الصلاة, so if the believing servant of Allah, Muslim, is very strict with prayer, he never misses a prayer, he doesn't, he's not lazy with prayer, he doesn't leave it till the last minute. No, he's like on top of his prayers. When Satan finds that, he comes to him from money. Because he can't mess up his prayers. He knows that this is one of your strengths. So let me tempt him to be cringy with money. Or even worse, to get money from illegal, un-Islamic ways. Or to get money from, or use money in interest. Putting their money in bank accounts that deal with interest. Usury. Which destroyed civilizations, not just countries. Usury is one of the most evil things in the world. Look what happened to us, America. Supposedly the strongest, most richest country in the world. Look at the Federal Reserve. So usury, he is a door that Satan can sneak in from. يوسوس له بألا يخرج الزكاة لنفسه تؤدي به الفقر. Maybe Satan is, when he finds him on top of his prayers, he whispers, you're good at, praying, you're getting good deeds, you don't need to give to the poor. That mandatory thing that Allah asks you to do every year, to give 2.5% of your wealth to poor people, that's gonna make you poor. And you worked so hard for that money. Don't do it this year. ويوسوس له أن يأكل حقوق الناس. And he could be whispering to him to take things that don't belong to him. Other people's rights. Like recently, there's a topic that's very, very trending in America, probably the world, which is what happened to this medical insurance CEO. And people talking about like how he made his money. May Allah guide us all. مدخلا السرور إلى نفسه مدخلا السرور إلى نفسه بالوهم أنه سيصبح غنيا آمنا مطمئنا على غده. And this is something that Allah warned us against um, Satan, that he gives false hope, and false insecurities. Makes you scared of things, and makes you like gives you false promises of other things that he has no control over. Because your providence, your money, your health, like all the good things, they come from Allah. So Satan tries to like whisper to him, don't spend money in charity, and you're gonna be rich if you hold your money and keep it to yourself, and that would give you security for the future. You don't have to worry like what happens tomorrow. وهذا كذب, and this is a lie, because a lot of billionaires can lose their money like this, and a lot of people that lost their money made it again like this. Who controls it? Not Satan, not even yourself. It's Allah. As long as you're working and doing what you need to be doing, you're applying the reasons, the worldly reasons, to not block your blessings away from you, then it's just a matter of God's providence. No one can take away something that God has destined for you. And nothing can give you something that was never destined to you by God. And we see billions of many people. They die before they get to spend all their money. They slaved away for, they worshipped money, and they died before spending even half of it. It was never theirs. والحقيقة هي أن التي رواها لنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حين قال ما نقص مال من صدقة. And the truth was revealed to us by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he said in a hadith that money never gets less by charity. Meaning, charity never decreases money. Because Allah blesses you, like when you take a percentage of your money to give to the poor, Allah blesses what you kept. Makes it, last longer, or at least like not, because those who think, oh, I'm gonna keep my money, I'm not gonna give to the poor, well, maybe you're gonna lose it somehow, or spend it for to treat a sickness. You wouldn't want that. والصدقة هي التي تكثر المال وتضع فيه البركة فيزداد وينمو. Like I was saying, giving to charity, even the voluntary extra charity, it's what makes money become more, because God throws his blessing upon it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Drink some water, you guys, and ask me if you have any questions. Do you have any questions? Let's keep going then. Those who are not happy that I'm studying Islam and helping others study the Holy Qur'an, with all due respect, this live stream is not for you. I don't think I say things that I don't mean, especially when I know it's recorded and it's gonna be on YouTube for God knows how long. When I start my live streams with Assalamu alaikum, dear Muslim brothers and sisters, I already indirectly established my target audience. So if you're here trying to preach to me to worship a human being, well, as a Middle Eastern woman, I'm flattered that you chose to worship a Middle Eastern. But I never asked you for your religious opinion. Thank you so much. I already spent years studying Christianity, and I could write books about why I didn't choose it. So please, if you're not interested in Islam, this is not the live stream for you. And I'm talking also vicariously to my YouTube audience. It doesn't happen a lot, but I did notice a few times where Christians, as usual, would would grace my comment section with invitations to worship a human being. No, thank you. No, thank you. That's never gonna happen. And please don't waste your time. This live stream is for Muslims. If you want to stay as a non-Muslim, then just, listen, learn something new, and be on your happy little way at the end. But evangelizing in my YouTube channel and my TikTok live streams is highly forbidden. And I'm sure Norma, my moderator, is going to keep an extra eye on evangelizing. Okay? Worshipping humans. No, thank you. No, thank you. والحقيقة هي التي رواها لنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حين قال من أقسم من الصدقة والصدقة هي التي تكثر المال وتضع فيه البركة فيزداد وينمو والمال هو مال الله ينتقل من يد إلى يد في الدنيا and money at the end of the day belongs to Allah and it merely is transferred from one hand to the other but it all belongs to Allah at the end of the day. So it's not like you're doing God a favor, you're doing yourself a favor. Okay? You can't give something to Allah because He owns everything. ثم يموت الإنسان ويتركه. Yeah, like we said, then we die and whatever we collected, we're gonna leave behind. Someone else is gonna enjoy it. لكن إبليس استغل غفلة الناس عن هذه الحقيقة ليدفعهم إلى المال الحرام. But Satan, he takes advantage of the fact that most people are asleep when it comes to this fact. They probably know it, but they choose to, forget about it. They just go about their life thinking it's a game, a video game about who collects the most money, who has the higher score in this money game. No, this is not what it's about, but Satan takes advantage of the fact that we get distracted, that we forget what this life is about. It's not about collecting money. So he uses the fact that most people have forgotten about these principles to make them get money from sinful ways, from haram ways. Like I said, even the most well-meaning Muslims, they have their money in bank accounts that deal with interest. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. And we're not talking about Muslims that drink alcohol, which is very extremely rare. And they say, like, I wouldn't, like, does this have pork? I wouldn't eat something that has pork. Yeah, let's talk about your bank account. This is one of the major sins. Allah said, do not deal with interest. Do not benefit from it. Do not be the one that takes interest, and do not contribute to it by paying interest. Move out of that satanic cycle. And we know which group in the world are famous for interest. And what happened to them in whatever community, they had their usury clause into the economy and victimized nations, which made them victimized themselves, but not the higher ups, of course. Those untouchables in this life. So don't contribute to this. Allah gave us the antidote. He warned us, don't strengthen that beast. And imagine, Muslims are 2 billion people. If all of us wouldn't disobey Allah by participating in usury, do you understand the strength? If there's one thing the enemies of Islam fear the most is losing money. So it's something to think about. If you're a Muslim listening to me in Indonesia, India, Egypt, America, wherever, Allah said clearly, do not participate in usury. Do not participate in banking with interest. This is haram money. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that one of the major reasons why your wishes, when you pray to God and you ask him for anything, one of the biggest reasons why your prayers are not answered, number one, check your money. Are you feeding your children haram money? Are you feeding yourself haram money? Are you participating, are you buying things from companies that put bullets into the chests of Muslim children? Are you doing this? Have you given up? That's the least you can do. Choose which companies you deal with. Mhm. Choose which companies you empower. Literally, these companies take your money, weaponize them against innocent Muslim children. What's your excuse when Allah will ask you? Remember, those who have been with me for last year, we talked about, I believe it was in, I 100% know for sure, chapter 18 in the Holy Quran, Al-Kahf. It talks about mainly 4 stories, and each one corresponds to the 4 questions that Allah is going to ask us on Judgment Day. One of them is, where did you get your money and where did you spend it? Did you get it from usury? Did you spend it on products sold by companies that unalive Muslim children? Something to, if there's one thing to take from this series, Qur'an Aid with Sarahnade, is this. Don't take your money from usury, interest, and don't spend it on companies that unalive Muslim children. If there's one thing that you take from all of this should be it. So فإذا كان الإنسان متشددا من ناحية المال, so when Satan finds this Muslim very righteous when it comes to money, he doesn't spend it on the wrong companies and he doesn't participate in usury, جاءه من ناحية المرأة, then he approaches him from the door of women. He's not gonna waste his time trying to pressure you to get your money from sin and spend it on sin. No, he knows that money is a lost cause for him. So he tries something else. Ooh, did you look at that woman? Look at her. Look at her body. Oh my God. Look at that website. So when Satan doesn't waste time. He sees a door locked, he tries something else. فيزين له امرأة خليعة. He makes him think this immodest woman is so tempting, so attractive. يوسوس له حتى يسقط في الزنا. He keeps whispering to him until he makes him fall into adultery. Having intimacy outside of marriage. وإن كان قويا في هذه النواحي كلها, and if that Muslim was very strong in all of these aspects, all of these doors are locked for Satan, زين له إبليس الخمر أو مجلس السوء أو النميمة, then Satan would adorn to him. That's the word that the author used. Adorn means make something beautiful. Make something not beautiful, make it beautiful. What is he making beautiful? He makes it beautiful to drink alcohol or to majlis السوء, to sit in places that you shouldn't be sitting at and talking to people that you shouldn't be talking with. أو النميمة, or gossip. And this, I say this with love. Women, especially like the older generations, he's not going to tempt you to, have adultery. He's not going to tempt you to get money from corrupted ways, but he's going to tempt you with gossip. Careful. المهم أن إبليس يظل يدور حول نقط الضعف في الإنسان ليسقطه في المعصية. Bottom line, that Satan keeps revolving around you to find and study your weak. When I say Satan, I don't mean the actual Satan, the big boss, the final boss Satan. He's not a boss of anyone. He's much weaker than this. But he has his army. He has someone assigned for each one of us. Jinn kind, what we call demons, they're not just demons. Some of them are good. Some of them are Muslims. Some of them are atheists. Some of them are Christians. They're going to be judged on Judgment Day just like us. So Satan has assigned, delegations. That person is responsible for this nation, and that person responsible has other people responsible for these individuals. So these individuals, they study the subject, you and I, and figures out what are your points of weakness, because you can't hide from them. They can see you. They know you sometimes even better than you know yourself, because imagine there's a sentient being, an intelligent being watching you 24/7 during all of your interactions. Even when you are not portraying this beautiful image to people, when you're doing things that you don't want other people to see, they're seeing them, and they're studying and taking notes to know exactly where to attack you, where to influence you to fail, how to beautify disobeying Allah. ولذلك فإن الاستعاذة بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إنما تجعل الله سبحانه وتعالى يقوي نقط الضعف فيك. And because of all of the above, all of the things that we discussed, therefore seeking refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan by saying أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, the thing that we say before we read the Qur'an, it lets Allah strengthen your points of weakness. If anything, it acts as a reminder, reminds you. Who do you run to? Who do you ask for strength? It's a reminder. It's not just, it doesn't just have like a magical ability to cast away demons. And it does. Allah says in the Quran, I think it was Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said it in a hadith, that when Allah is mentioned, khasi ash-shaytan, demons, they shrink. When a dog is guilty of something and then you blame them, and you can see that they know what's going on, they know what they did, they just shrink, and they feel humiliated and ashamed. That's what happens to demons when Allah's name is mentioned. Yakhsa, shrinks and feels powerless and ashamed and doesn't feel confident. فلا يستطيع الشيطان أن ينفذ إليك وأنت تقرأ القرآن ليضع في رأسك هواجس تلهيك عن هذه القراءة. And when you mention Allah's name by seeking refuge in him from the accursed Satan, Satan cannot find a gap to reach you from when you're reading the Holy Quran to plant seeds in your mind or thoughts in your head that distract you when you're reading the Quran, and you end up feeling like, did I even read anything? I don't remember anything I read. I didn't understand anything I read. Yeah, because did you seek a refuge in the all-powerful one, or were you an easy victim to Satan's distraction? ذلك أن عطاء الله في القرآن الكريم يساوي بين جميع الخلق، فعطاء القرآن متساوي لكن كل إنسان يأخذ على قدر إيمانه. Oh, that's very deep. Moreover, Allah's generosity in His Quran, the gifts of knowledge, the gifts of wisdom in the Quran is equal to everyone. But your receptors are either good, which like you clear the channel so you receive those gifts, those pearls of wisdom, those blessings, or you're distracted, you're restless, you're not focusing what you're reading. So it's like the gifts are coming to you, but you don't have your channel turned on. Someone is broadcasting on like 98.3 FM and your receiver is on 104 FM. You're not going to receive. The transmission is there, it's always there, it's equally there to everyone. But your tuning has a problem. فالقرآن يقرأ والناس تسمع. The Holy Quran is being recited every day and people are hearing. But are they listening? ولكن هل يتقبل الجميع القرآن تقبلا متساويا؟ Does everyone accept the Quran equally? It's been transmitted equally, but it's not being received equally. فقد قال Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Muhammad, I believe Surah Muhammad is 44, let me double check. No, 44 is Dukhan. Surah Muhammad, I think it's 46. Let's see. Yeah, 44 is Dukhan. Surah Muhammad is 47. Oh, I was close. Yeah. So, Surah Muhammad, chapter Muhammad, titled, numbered 47, verse 16 says, ومنهم من يستمع إليك حتى إذا خرجوا من عندك قالوا للذين أوتوا العلم ماذا قال آنفا أولئك الذين طبع الله على قلوبهم واتبعوا أهواءهم. Exactly like the example I was giving you. Let me go to Qur'an.com for a more accurate translation than whichever one I would come up with. Actually, let me translate it first and then see how they translated it professionally. So it says here, وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَسْتَمِعْ عَلَيْكَ. Some of the disbelievers would listen to you or pretend to be listening to you. حَتَّى إِذَا خَرَجُوا مِنْ عِنْدَكَ. And as soon as they leave your place, like they go outside, قَالُوا الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ. They would say to other people who were blessed with knowledge, ماذا قال آنفا. What did he just say? Referring to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, what was he talking about again? أولئك الذين طبع الله على قلوبهم. These are the people that God placed His seal upon their hearts. When God knows, if someone did something horrible, God, as a punishment, puts a separation, a cover on his heart so that he can't receive good things. طبع Allah. It's like when you put a seal, like a wax seal on their hearts. وَاتَّبَعُوا أَهْوَاءَهُمْ. And this is the reason. وَاتَّبَعُوا أَهْوَاءَهُم, and they followed their desires. In case you're asking, this is not fair. That means that God chooses who he wants to guide. Well, of course he chooses who he wants to guide, but the question is why? Why him and not you? The reason is mentioned right after. وَاتَّبَعُوا أَهْوَاءَهُم, and they followed their desires. You want to follow your desire? Are you worshipping your desire? Are your desires your God? Then God is gonna imprint on your heart. Imprinted. So when you listen to wisdom, you're not gonna. What was he talking about? So let's read the proper translation. Surah 47, verse 16. Let's see. 47:16. Let's see what it says. There are some of them who listen to you, O Prophet, but when they depart from you, they say mockingly to those believers gifted with knowledge. What did he just say? Oop, exactly what I said. These are the ones whose hearts Allah has sealed and who only follow their desires. I think I did pretty good here. There you have it. أن القرآن لم يؤثر فيهم, meaning the Holy Quran did not have an impact on them. Remember when I was talking about our natural receivers that Allah has implanted in us so that we would find guidance, so that when He sends a message, we will have a detector like a smoke alarm. Alarm, alarm, message from your maker, alarm. Yeah, some people have ruined their alarm. They don't have a battery. لكنه أثر في المؤمنين الذين استمعوا إليه مصدقا لقوله جل جلاله. But it did affect positively the believers that Allah said about them. And this is Surah Fussilat. I think Fussilat is 41, chapter 41. Let me double check. Please don't embarrass me. Oh yes, chapter 41 is the Fussilat. Verse 44. It says, ولو جعلناه قرآنا أعجميا لقالوا لولا فصلت آياته أعجمي وعربي. Okay, let's go to the 41 verse what again? 44. Because the printing is very hard to read, but Quran.com is clearer. ولو جعلناه قرآنا أعجميا لقالوا لولا فصلت آياته أعجمي وعربي قل هو للذين آمنوا هدى وشفاء والذين لا يؤمنون في آذانهم وقر وهو عليهم عمى أولئك ينادون من مكان بعيد. So the translation is, had we revealed it, meaning the Holy Quran, as a non-Arabic Quran, they would have certainly argued. If only its verses were made clear in our language, meaning Arabic. So like God is telling them, there's no convincing you. It's Arabic and you say, well, why is it Arabic? It should have been in a language that's international. And if it was in a different language, they would say, what is this? This doesn't make sense. An Arabic messenger, but in a foreign language? We don't speak that language. If only its verses were made clear in our language. What? Allah says. A non-Arab... no, I'm not sure that part Allah is telling... Okay, let's read it. What? A non-Arabic revelation for an Arabic audience? Oh, that's them. Say, O Prophet, it is a guide and a healing to the believers. As for those who disbelieve, there is deafness in their ears and blindness to their hearts. Oh, blindness to their hearts. I love that. It is as if they are being called from a faraway place. Oh, that's very profound. Oh, it's very, very profound. Someone's calling you right here, right in front of you, but your ignorance is like a distance. You can't hear anymore, as if they're calling you from a faraway place. Subhanallah. Let's see how many more pages before we start the first verse in the Holy Quran. Oh God. Oh God. I don't think we're gonna make it tonight. It's page 41. Okay, so this introduction, we've been like, this is the fourth time we were doing the introduction. So the actual Quran starts at page 41 here. Let's see which page we're on. I don't think we can cut because I talk too much. Oh my goodness. I think we're gonna need another introduction episode, which is okay. It's quality over quantity. We're at page 29, so we still have 10 pages. Anywho, I'm not gonna, rush it. فالقرآن عطاؤه للجميع ولكن المهم من يستقبله. So the Holy Quran gives to everyone equally, but the question is who receives. وكيف يستقبله عندما يطلع عليه, and how do they receive it when it's being recited. والله سبحانه وتعالى يريدنا عندما نقرأ القرآن أن نبعد الشيطان عن أنفسنا قبل أن يبعدنا هو عن منهج الله سبحانه وتعالى. And Allah wants us to cast away the shaitan, Satan, before he casts us away from Allah's path. Because it's one or two things. You're going to push him away from you, or he's going to push you away from God. وبما أننا لا نرى الشيطان وهو يرانا, and because Satan can see us and we can see him, ولا نعرف أين هو بينما هو يعرف أين نحن, and we don't know where he is, but he knows exactly where we are. مصدقا لقوله تبارك وتعالى, just like Allah said in chapter Al-A'raf. Let's see if I remember. Al-A'raf is the heights. That's chapter Al-A'raf. That's like, because 5 is Al-Ma'idah, the table. 6 is what's 6? Al-Anfal, I think. The spoils of war. 7, I think, is Al-A'raf. The heights. Let's see. 7. Ooh, I was right. Oh, but I was wrong about 6. 6 is Al-An'am, the cattle. Which one is Anfal? Oh, Anfal is 8. So I messed up one and I got one right. I need to brush up on my memorization. Okay, so as Allah says in chapter 7, chapter 7 verse, what's this number? 27. So let's read it here. Chapter 7 verse 27. Let's see what it says. So Allah is talking to humans. It says, يا بني آدم لا يفتننكم الشيطان كما أخرج أبويكم من الجنة ينزع عنهما لباسهما ليريهما سوآتهما إنه يراكم هو وقبيله من حيث لا ترونهم إنا جعلنا الشياطين أولياء للذين لا يؤمنون. So basically, Allah says, O children of Adam, humans, do not let Satan deceive you as he tempted your parents out of paradise. Notice the difference. The Bible accuses Eve, blames Eve. the Quran blames more, like both of them, more so Adam, not her, because he's the leader. Anyways, so do not let Satan deceive you as he tempted your parents out of paradise and caused their cover to be removed in order to expose their nakedness. Surely he and his soldiers watch you from where you cannot see them. We have made the devils allies of those who disbelieve. Very profound. Thank God he gave us an insight, or else we would be like fighting in the dark without any idea who and what we're fighting, like what we're up against. فلا بد من أن نستعيذ بقوة تستطيع أن تقهر الشيطان وتدمره. That's why we need to seek refuge in a power that can defeat the Satan and destroy him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala طلب منا أن نستعيذ به وأن نلجأ إليه. Allah Almighty, He asked us to seek refuge in Him and to seek shelter in Him. لأنه هو no, not shelter, like seek asylum in Him. لأنه هو القادر على أن يحمينا, because He is the one who is able to protect us. ويصفي قلوبنا ونفوسنا من همزات الشياطين, and purify our hearts and ourselves from the whispers of Satan's plural. فيحسن استقبالنا للقرآن الكريم. And when we do this, our reception of the Holy Quran becomes better. لأنه إذا صفيت نفسك لاستقبال القرآن, because when your receptors become better at receiving the Holy Quran, فإن آياته الكريمة تمس قلبك ونفسك وتكون لك هدى ونورا. In that case, once your receptors are functioning at full efficiency, away, like pure from the whispers and distractions of Satan, then the ayahs or the verses or the miracles of the Holy Quran will touch your heart and touch yourself and will become to you a guidance and a light. If you have any questions, please ask me, and let's drink some water. Bismillah. Any questions so far? You can't destroy Satan, but you can keep repelling him from your life. Exactly. Only Allah can destroy Satan. He granted him his request to stay alive, to show God that he was wrong about us. So he's gonna stay around till Allah destines for him to be destroyed. I want to read along. Where are you at? I'm about to start page 30 in the very first book. Like I said, these are 30 books. This is book number 1, the end of page 29. Okay, any other questions? What's the book's name? It's an Arabic book and there's no English translation. It's called Tafsir al-Sha'rawi, or the interpretation of al-Sha'rawi. That's his last name. His name is Muhammad Mutwalli al-Sha'rawi. That's his name. He's one of the most respected and well-known Muslim scholars. You're welcome. You're welcome. So let's keep going. والشيطان قد خَضَ الله سبحانه وتعالى في أمره. And when it comes to Satan, Allah has already decided what to do with him. There is no chance that he's gonna forgive him. And God made it clear to us in the Holy Quran that he is he is outside of God's mercy. Allah has already decided, and his fate has already been decided. So that you wouldn't be tempted to follow Satan thinking that, yeah, he made a mistake, we made a mistake, so he's not that bad. And we see this a lot in Western movies and TV shows. There was this trend on TikTok months ago about a cartoon show aimed at children that glorifies Satan and shows him to be the victim, like he's misunderstood, that God was too harsh on him. You know, the background story that makes him seem like the good guy. Aimed at our children, not adults. There's another movie, a Christmas movie, right now, starring Jack Black. Again, a children's movie. I don't know, like, what are they trying to do? And this movie, a child is writing a letter to Santa, but because he can't spell, so he spelled it Satan, which makes you think, huh? Satan, Santa, same letters, wearing red. Anyways, so it goes to Satan instead of Santa, and then he appears and says, I'm gonna give you not one thing, 3 wishes, but you're gonna have to sell your soul to me. Why are we teaching our children that? And then show, like, throughout the movie, that Satan is such a fun guy to be around. And the kid seems to be having a great, great time. And I'm sure at the last 2 minutes, they're gonna, sneak in a message like, yeah, don't sell your soul. But, like, the rest of the movie glorifies Santa to children. Like, the West, are you okay? Anyways, so Satan, Allah has already finished, like, he decided what to do with him. So there's no, God's not gonna change his mind when it comes to Satan. It's final. فَطَرَدَهُ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ. So he cast him away from his mercy. وَجَعَلَهُ رَجِيمًا مُبْعَدًا. And he made him cast away, rejected. وَالشَّيْطَانِ يَعْرِفْ أَنَّ مَصِيرُهُ نَارٌ. And Satan, can you imagine? How stupid can you be to defy someone like Satan? Like, we didn't see God. We haven't seen angels. We haven't seen his might with our senses, but he did. To go against him that way, to defy him in his, within his angels and his entourage. How stupid can you be? When people fear Satan and, like, oh my God, Satan is the prince of this world, Satan is some scary thing. Satan is stupid. He's stupid. Even the worst human being wouldn't make that mistake. Imagine, who is the worst human being in human history? If they see the unseen and the glory of God, would they dare defy him, knowing very well what the consequence might be? So even the stupidest, most evil human is still smarter than Satan. So don't glorify him, making him like some king on a throne. And some people might defend Satan, like in the West, there are people who worship him. So their argument is, well, look at Adam. Adam sinned, and Satan sinned. Why Adam is the favorite one, and why Satan didn't get a second chance. Well, there's a huge difference. Haven't you thought about it? Haven't you realized that it's not disobeying God, it's what you do after? Meaning, when it comes to Adam, he disobeyed God, but he didn't reject God's ruling. God said, do not eat from that tree. Adam didn't say, you didn't have the right to stop me from eating from that tree. He didn't rebuke the ruling. He said, I'm weak. I'm sorry. I did something wrong, and if you don't forgive me, I'm gonna be one of the losers. So he broke the rules, but he didn't break the ruling. Let's investigate Satan. Satan said, when God said, bow down to Adam, to the angels and Satan, the ruling, he defied the ruling. No. So it's not just like he did not bow down and he said, sorry, I'm too weak to bow down. I'm too proud to bow down. I know that I should have bowed down, but I just can't. I can't get myself to do it. I'm sorry, I apologize. No, that's not what he did. He said, you should not have told me to bow down to him. Plus, I'm not gonna bow down to him. A huge difference. A huge difference. One of them became God's representative on earth. The other one deserved and still deserve the worst place in existence. Not just hellfire, the worst place in it. For how long? For eternity. So before you think you're best friends with Satan, before you not ask God for protection against his distractions and his whispers, remember how he feels about you. Because of your father, he's destined for eternity in the worst place in existence. He doesn't hate you. The feeling he has against you doesn't even have a word. Doesn't have a word to express it. Allah told us he's your enemy. He's your enemy. Don't befriend him. Don't be unguarded against him. Don't worship him. Don't seek help from him. Don't be vulnerable to him, for he doesn't have good intentions for you. So think about that next time you feel, an urge to do something wrong. والشيطان قد قضى الله سبحانه وتعالى في أمره. Allah has already decided what to do with Satan. فطرده من رحمته. He expelled him from his mercy. والشيطان يعرف مصيره النار. And Satan knows that his destiny is fire. ويعتقد أن آدم هو السبب. And he believes that Adam is the reason why. He blames Adam till now. He doesn't see that it's his fault. It's his fault, if not logically, that Adam deserves a higher status than his kind. The kind that messed up taking care of planet Earth was their job. And when they messed up, God replaces. And he gave this privilege to humans. So logically, he should know what his kind did to planet Earth and what they did to each other. Like angels said in the Holy Quran, like Allah said in the Holy Quran, that angels said to God, are you going to create another creation that spills blood and spreads corruption? How would they know? Adam wasn't even, alive yet, because they saw what jinn did. So logically, Satan should have known that Adam is worthy of bowing down to. But even if he did not like that, he should have been smart. He should have bowed down anyways, because he should have known his abilities compared to Allah. Stupidity upon, like, it's illogic covered with, or add to that, stupidity. Seek refuge in God from the accursed Satan. He hates you beyond your imagination. Because of your father, eternity in hellfire. So pick which team you want to be on. ويعتقد أن آدم هو السبب. He thinks Adam is the reason why. لأن بداية المعصية كانت رفض إبليس طاعة أمر الله السجود لآدم, because he refused to obey Allah and bow down to Adam. وقال كما يروى لنا القرآن الكريم أن الله said في سورة الأعراف chapter 7 verse 12. Let's go to that. Verse 12. Let's go to verse 12. قال ما منعك ألا تسجد إذ أمرتك قال أنا خير منه خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. This shows to us the reason why he should have bowed down and the reason why he didn't, in just one verse. And this is a sign of eloquence when you say so much in so little. So Allah asked, what prevented you from prostrating when I commanded you? So Allah is implying that even if you don't logically agree that Adam is better than you, remember, the reason you should bow down, it's not because Adam, it's because of me. Because I told you to bow down. Again, let's read between the Quran, the lines of the Holy Quran. That's what Qur'an with Sarahnade is all about. If you just read the Quran, well, you have the Quran. You can just go read it yourself. But what we do here is we read between the lines. So Allah asked, what prevented you from prostrating when I commanded you? I commanded you. That's the reason you should have bowed down. Regardless, you understand or not that Adam is worthy of bowing down to. Now let's see his rationale. He forgets what God says. He's distracted by his arrogance. He doesn't address the part with, I commanded you. He disregards this. He's obsessed with Adam. So he says, he replied, I am better than he is. This is not the point. The point is, I commanded you. And Allah commanded you, watching me right now. He told you, do this, do that, do this, do that, and don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. I commanded you. For example, people see that a lot of people tell me like, you're not wearing the hijab, you're a hypocrite, in like comments on YouTube. And then I find some of my supporters, they say, well, hijab is not mandatory anyways. Careful. I agree with the ones blaming me, and I disagree with those who think they're supporting me, because you're putting yourself in much more trouble. It's one thing not wearing the hijab. It's a completely different ball game if you say hijab is not even mandatory, because you're doing what Satan did. Adam said, I'm too weak to do it. I'm saying, I'm sorry God, I'm too weak to wear the hijab right now. Please forgive me, or else I'm going to be one of the losers. But what Satan did is, you shouldn't have told me. This is not even mandatory. Hijab is not even mandatory. It shouldn't be asked of a woman. Careful. The first one that did this, eternity in hellfire. Is this where you want to end up? So please don't defend me. Allah says he ordered Muslims to advise each other to do the right thing. So those who are heckling me and annoying me with, where's your hijab? Well, let's assume they have good intentions and they are spreading Allah's advice, or like they're advising people to be on the path of Allah. So we should say thank you to them. We should not push them into, you know what, I'm not going to advise anyone anymore. So don't force these people to stop advising people altogether. Because Allah's way is more important than my comfort and my image in front of people. I don't care. Embarrass me. I'm gonna die and turn to dust. I'm not important. But Allah and His path. So be very careful. If you're gonna sin, and there's no way around it, because we're humans, we're bound to sin. Careful what kind of sin. There's a sin that comes from weakness. I'm so sorry, I couldn't follow the rules. I made a mistake. And another sin, the rules are fake. The rules are not true. The rules should not have been the rules. You are somewhere completely different. You're going on like a la Satan, a la Satan. You're going somewhere completely different. Careful. قال ما منعك ألا تسجد إذا أمرتك. Allah asked, what prevented you from prostrating when I commanded you? He replied, I am better than he is. You created me from fire and him from clay. Anyone who's racist, even a little, notice something here? I'm better than him. I'm inherently better. What I was made of. Did he create himself from fire so that we should say, bravo, Satan, bravo, you deserve an award for being created from fire? Like when people treat other people bad because of their skin color, did you do you have like the copyright of the skin did you come up with the skin color? Are you the creator of that skin color? Did you contribute, did you choose it for yourself? Should there be an award for you? A privilege? Are you insane? You're illogical, not to mention immoral. And you're walking on the footsteps of Satan. Careful. If you're gonna sin and there's no escaping it, at least sin humbly. Because racism, you created him from fire, and you created me from fire and him from clay. First of all, sinning. Let's talk about sinning for a minute. Allah could have made humans and jinn completely pious and obedient. He could have. And people ask me this question many, many times. He could have. And by the way, he did. They're called angels. They don't have free will. They can't help but obey God. But angels they're not the expression to Allah's other attributes. Before you start hating on yourself and letting guilt be a door for Satan to attack you from and let you, don't be a Muslim anymore. Are you enjoying this guilty feeling? You're too bad to become a Muslim anyways. You do drugs and you sleep with women and you do this and you do that and you feel guilty about it, which makes you depressed all the time. Just reject Islam. Satan would hunt you from you feeling guilty, which is a good thing. You feel bad about disobeying God. if you're one of those people, let me remind you, if you don't sin, and if I don't sin, and if no one sins, and we're all angels, how would Allah be the merciful? Who's gonna like who is he gonna be merciful with? A bunch of angels that never did anything wrong? Again, we are designed this way to be the expression of God's mercy and forgiveness and the other attributes. The 99 names of Allah, crucial. We should study them. This is beyond important. Teach it to your children. They find themselves in this life and things don't make sense to them yet. Why is there wrong and why is there right? Why is this a sin and this is not a sin? And God could have, if He's so powerful and He could have made me sinless, why am I sinful? And then parents, what are you going to say? You have to arm yourself with knowledge so that you can arm your children with knowledge. Because even when you sin that way, and you remember that you are the expression of God's mercy, being sinful and this is, of course, it's not an invitation, let's all sin. Because, hey, there's another expression of God's attributes, the punisher, the vengeful. These are of Allah's names. So, I mean, do you want to be on that side of Allah? Just saying. But knowing this, when you do something wrong, instead of festering and getting depressed and being an easy victim to Satan and making you leave religion altogether so that you can get rid of guilt, no, you understand that this is part of your nature. And you can switch it around when you remember that God is the merciful. If no one sins, is He really merciful? How is He gonna express His mercy if no one sins? Imagine, before God created humans, before God created angels, before God created anything, anyone, He knows who He is. He is the merciful. Now, how is this gonna manifest if there's no one with free will that does something wrong? Did you ever think about that? So, guilt is good temporarily to make you like an alarm. No one's gonna live with the alarm. You're gonna go crazy. It's an alarm to let you know what you're doing is wrong. Change course. Do something about it. Whether stop the sin or at least ask for forgiveness if you're not strong enough to fix it. Like, again, I'm not wearing the hijab. This is a sin. Can I change it now? I can't. I'm not gonna dive into my personal life. But what can I do? Ask for forgiveness. So do something. Stop the sin, repent, or at least ask for forgiveness. And Allah Almighty said, Allah said, even if they meet me, like even if they commit like mountains of sins and they ask me for forgiveness, I will forgive it all for them. And someone asked Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when does God get bored of forgiveness? When? Like if I did something wrong and I asked him for forgiveness, will he forgive me? He said yes. And he said, and what if I did something wrong again? And I asked him for forgiveness, will he forgive me? He said yes. And again, yes. And again, yes. And he said, okay, when does it stop? He said, Allah doesn't get bored of forgiving till you get bored with asking for forgiveness. It's in your hands. It's in your hands. And what an honor to be a slave to God, to be a servant to God. when you get to meet him on your own terms. If you have a CEO of a company, can you just say, by the way, CEO, I'm gonna meet you on Monday at 2 p.m. Bye. Of course not. Of course not. But when it comes to God, whenever you need him, you talk to him, you connect with him. And whenever you ask him forgiveness, he forgives you. Just be genuine. Don't just be, I'm gonna try to trick God. I'm gonna do whatever I want, and then I'm just gonna say an empty couple of words, and I'm gonna be good to go. You think God did not hear that inner monologue? You think that he's not listening to you right now? You think you can fool God who created you? Yeah, good luck. Anyways, you created me from fire and him from clay. Let's investigate that part. And I know we're taking too long in this one spot. See what happens when someone is arrogant. Such a dangerous sin arrogance is. When Satan was so arrogant, his judgment was blinded. The first blindness is he's challenging, or he is defying someone that he cannot overcome. Satan cannot overpower God. Therefore, it's stupid, illogical to defy someone that you cannot go against. And even if you have made allies with all of creation against God, he's gonna win every time. So you're stupid for doing that. The second thing, when you're arrogant, you stop making sense. Your logic stops functioning. Because if he stopped to think for a minute, the privilege of clay over fire, in this case, he wouldn't say what he said. Because let's think about it for a minute. Who was in charge of Earth before humans? Jinn. What were they made of? Fire. Humans, Adam, he was made of what? From earth, from clay, from dirt, from earth. Therefore, who is more equipped for the job? Earth is not made of fire. If anything, if I go to a job interview and I see someone else, and that someone else is a black woman, and this company is a black company and it hires only black people, would it make any sense if I go like, I'm better than you, don't you see my skin color? That's stupid. That's not just arrogant, not just wrong, but logically it's stupid. Because in this situation, my skin color is a disadvantage. Because she's made of what this company is made of. You see, in this case, they're fighting again. Like, for what? For who takes charge? Like, who is going to be Allah's representative on earth? Someone made of a material that is detrimental to what earth is made of, and someone who comes from the very thing that earth is made of. In this case, whether clay is more powerful than fire, but it's more equipped for the job. It comes from earth, the same earth that it's in the job to take care of, to be in charge of. Now let's dive even deeper. Qualities of clay. You can plant in it and gives you multiple. You plant one seed, you get a tree with tons of seeds. You can build on it. You can build a house from it and on it. It gives you security, gives you stability, predictability. Let's investigate fire. Fire destroys mostly. Fire is unreliable, unpredictable, too wild. And doesn't have that solid ground to stand on, to build something on it. Anyways, let's keep going. What time is it? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We still have like 30 minutes. Bismillah. Do you guys have any questions before we keep going? Thank you. Do you have any questions? Sure, ask me. But please ask me fast because this is going to be on YouTube and I don't want people on YouTube to be too bored just watching me waiting for the questions. So please ask me as fast as you can. Love your examples, always mind-blowing. Thank you so much, appreciate it. It's not from me, like whatever I know is from Allah, and Allah is the one that blesses people with inspiration and information. No questions about what I just shared? You explained everything perfectly. Name of hadith, book you're reading. Like I mentioned before, this is Tafsir al-Sha'rawi and it's only in Arabic. It's a series of 30 books. This is the first one, page 30. Oh, page 30. Oh, we have 10 more pages. Anyways, well, let me take an opportunity, take this chance to thank everyone that gifted me. Thank you ever so much. Your support and your contributions help make this possible, help making me, able to keep doing this and keep trying to deliver the message. So thank you ever so much. May Allah reward you on my behalf. I can't reward you myself, so I ask Allah to reward you on my behalf. Thank you so much for, oh my goodness, wow. Thank you. So oh my goodness, you guys are awesome. Thank you. So thank you so much for, I can't even talk now. Thank you so much for everyone who support me and continue to support me. Your hard-earned money and your trust means so much to me, and it makes this possible. So may Allah reward you for every single person that benefits from what I do now, with every single gift that you send me, with every single word of encouragement and positive criticism and constructive criticism. Anything that helps me keep doing what I'm doing and help me do it better. May Allah reward you for it by every single person that benefits from it. Thank you. Let's keep going. وكانت معصية إبليس في القمة. And the sin of Satan was the top sin. There are, like I said, two kinds of sin. You can sin while admitting that you did the wrong thing, that the rule itself you agree with, but you just wasn't strong enough to do it. But the top sin is you disagree with the rule itself. Be very careful. So Satan's sin was on top. لأنه رد الأمر على الآمر, because he rejected the ruling on the ruler. وقال لن أطيع ولن أسجد لآدم لأني خير منه. And he said, I'm not gonna comply, I'm not gonna obey, I'm not gonna prostrate to Adam because I'm better than him. هو من طين وأنا من نار. He is from clay and I'm from fire. فكأنما لم يرضى بحكم الله سبحانه وتعالى وأرادني يعدله. As if that he wasn't satisfied with Allah's ruling and he wanted to tweak it. He wanted to adjust it. He thinks that he's God. Does he? I wonder. Like, who do you think you are? Like, are you like God's partner and we don't know? Astaghfirullah al-Azim. What is this? When God says something, you you either do it or you apologize for not doing it. But who are you to tell God what to ask for and what not to ask for? Who do you think you are? This is stupid. Who do you think you are, Satan? Dum dum. فكأنما لم يرضى بحكم الله سبحانه وتعالى وأراد أن يعدله هذه المعصية فقام. And this kind of sin is top, on the top of the sins. جعلت الله تبارك وتعالى يطرد إبليس من رحمته. And this sin made Allah uh, like, throw away Satan from his mercy, or cast him away from his mercy. ويصفه بأنه رجيم, and describe him as the faraway one, the one that is pushed far away. وذلك حتى نعرف أن مصيره النار وأن الله لن يغفر له. And Allah refers to him in the Quran by this quality so that we would know that Allah is not going to change his mind about him, that his destiny is hellfire, and that's not going to change. وبدأ إبليس بغواية آدم عليه السلام, and Satan started by tempting Adam. Notice how the Muslim perspective doesn't say that he started by tempting like the wife of Adam. Which religion is pro-woman? Which religion is better to women? Islam puts the responsibility mainly on Adam, not his wife. فآدم عاش في جنة تعطيه مقاومة حياته بلا تعب وبلا عمل. Because Adam lived in a paradise that gives him all the tools necessary for living without having to work for it and without having to exert any effort. Everything was given to him effortlessly. وكان في الجنة ألوف الأشجار تعطي كل الثمرات هي حلال لآدم وحواء يأكلان منها ما يشاءن. And paradise had countless numbers of trees that Adam and his wife could have eaten from whatever they wanted. And me personally, after studying the Quran and studying the Bible, and the Bible makes this tree to be so special, the tree of knowledge, it's very special, and makes, astaghfirullah azim, God forbid, paints Allah to be this angry, insecure being, that he knows that if Adam eats from this tree, he's gonna be, a competitor to God. Makes, like, it's just so problematic when it comes to creed and how the tree was portrayed. But when it comes to the Holy Quran, if you read it, you'll notice, like, as if God was like, and Adam, by the way, I have one rule for you. You know, this tree, don't eat from that tree. It's just a tree. The Holy Quran just says tree, doesn't even say the tree, doesn't make it special in any way. It's just a tree. Because the whole point is the exercise, to train him. Because, again, his mission is not just to stay in paradise. Allah said it from before he created Adam, when he announced it to angels that he is going to create a new creation to take care of earth. So Adam he wasn't sent to earth as a punishment. Islamically, when it comes to the Holy Quran and Islam, this concept is a huge difference between Islam and Christianity and Judaism. One honors humans and one gives them the burden that you are sinful because your father made a mistake. He ate from he ate a fruit. He ate a fruit. Humans are unaliving each other. And Adam ate a fruit. and, and in Judeo Christianity, we all carry that sin, and we need Jesus to be like sacrificed for the sin that we inherit. Like, what, whoa, 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 whoa. It's someone who, like, the first human ate a fruit. He ate a fruit. He ate a fruit and he apologized. And he apologized. He apologized. Done. Allah and Adam moved on from that day. He ate a fruit. He didn't unalive anyone. And he apologized. Like, what more? Like, okay, he's done. He's good. As if he did not, God forgave him. Or else, why did why did God inspire him how to ask for forgiveness? If it was pointless, if it was not going to make any difference, then why did Allah tell him how to ask for forgiveness? If Adam was sent to earth as a punishment, then why did he tell the angels, إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً? I'm going to create someone to be my representative on earth. Adam was always meant to be on earth. But this temporary period in paradise, first to show him, I created this for you and your offspring. So don't worry, this is yours. But you have a mission, you have a job to take care of. And for you to be able to take care of this job, there's, exercise you need to finish. What's this exercise? Well, the most important lesson. When God tells you something, it's for your own good. And when God tells you something, Satan, your enemy, is gonna try to ruin that for you. Because by disobeying God, you lose in this life and the next. When God tells you to do something, He doesn't need you. Nothing that you're gonna do is gonna benefit God. Whether you do it, whether you don't, it's not gonna increase God's kingdom, and it's not gonna decrease God's kingdom. But He says it for you to finish that mission to the best of your ability. Do these things that God says do, and avoid these things that He said don't do. And don't listen to that creature. He's your enemy. Adam had one job, which is to try, not to succeed, to try, do your best, and fail, and learn from your mistake, and know how to ask for forgiveness, and teach it to your offspring. No need for the drama. The tree doesn't have superpowers. The tree doesn't have the secrets to God's power. Logically, if that was true, He wouldn't just leave it there. If I had, like a secret weapon, I wouldn't just leave it in front of my children. Like, what? Adam was destined for this to happen so that he would learn and teach. فآدم عاش في جنة تعطيك مقاومة حياته كلها. Adam lived in a paradise that gives him everything effortlessly. And there were thousands of trees he could have to eat from, whatever they wanted, except for one tree that Allah made it not permissible to eat from. And this tree was the beginning of sin. بدأ إبليس وكانت هذه الشجرة هي بداية الخطيئة. بدأ إبليس يغري آدم وحواء على المعصية. Satan started to tempt Adam and his wife to commit this disobedience how كيف حاول إقناعهما بأن عدم الأكل من هذه الشجرة سيحرمهما من خير كبير. How did Satan, like what's Satan's style of work? What's his method? He tried to convince them that not eating from this tree will deprive them from a great good. And the way that Qur'an tells us the story, because the Holy Quran says وَقَاسَمَهُمَا, Allah says that Satan swore to them by Allah. Adam was newly created. He saw the majesty of God. He couldn't even imagine that someone would dare swear by Allah false. He said, I swear to God, if you eat from this tree, this good thing is going to happen and this good thing is going to happen. And he swore by Allah. So Adam was kind of naive. He's the first human. He doesn't have any experiences. Let's keep going. وقرأ قوله تعالى, Surah Al-Araf, the same chapter 7. It says, فوسوس. Okay, let's go to Qur'an.com. Which verse is this? 20? Okay. فوسوس لهما الشيطان ليبدي لهما ما وري عنهما من سوآتهما وقال ما نهاكم ربكم عن هذه الشجرة إلا أن تكونا ملكين أو تكونا من الخالدين. Notice how illogical Satan's whispers are. So don't be stupid and fall for this. Listen. Then Satan tempted them in order to expose what was hidden of their nakedness. He said, your Lord has forbidden this tree to you only to prevent you from becoming angels or immortals. First of all, prevents you from being what again? Angels? The ones that bow down to Adam? Does this make any sense? Why would Adam want to be an angel? Angels bow down to Adam. One might argue being an angel is a downgrade for Adam, right? But this tells us something. There's a lesson here to learn. The whispers of Satan, illogical, and promises things that are illogical. Don't give money to the poor. You're gonna be so poor if you do it. Really? When you give charity, who gave you that money? And do you think he's not looking? He's not gonna take care of you? Does this concept satisfy your inner sense of justice? God, so the whispers of Satan, the promises of Satan are false, are stupid. He said, you're gonna be angels or immortals. Adam already knows that when he dies, there's life after death. What are you promising him? This is so stupid. وفي إغواء آخر, and in another chapter in the Quran, it shows that in another attempt to tempt Adam. Surah Taha, I think Taha is 20. Let me double check. Chapter Taha, is it 20? Yes. Verse 100 is this 130? Let's see. So, chapter 20, verse 130. Let's see. No, it's not 130. 120 maybe? Oh yes, 120. So, chapter 20, verse 120. It says, فوسوس إليه الشيطان قال يا آدم هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد وملك لا يبلى. This is another temptation. But which shows you how many times Adam wasn't bad. Satan tried many times, and he only believed him once Satan swore to him. Adam, like I said, he wouldn't imagine someone would swear by God falsely. Like, who would dare? Anyway, but Satan whispered to him, saying, O Adam, shall I show you the tree of immortality and a kingdom that does not fade away? Oh, there's a kingdom now. There's a kingdom now and does not fade away. Well, he's in the best kingdom ever. He's in paradise, and paradise doesn't fade away. Again, promising him stupid things, illogical things. So notice the pattern so that you can guard yourself against Satan and his whispers. He whispers things that are stupid, illogical. And then people fall into them and say, I don't even know why I did this. And then like humans in your life will tell you, what were you thinking? Yeah, because you weren't. Because obviously what Satan tells you to do is illogical. There's no thought behind it. That's why like people would say, what were you thinking? وهكذا نعرف أن إبليس يأتي الإنسان من أكثر من زاوية. And this is how we know that Satan attacks humans, or like approaches humans from more than one angle, more than one door. لذلك كانت الزاوية الأولى هي أن هذه الشجرة من يأكل منها يكون ملكا أو يكون خالدا. And because of that, the first angle in the case of Adam was that whoever eats from the tree will be an angel or immortal. وكان الإغواء الثاني, and the second temptation was that أن هذه الشجرة تعطي لمن يأكل منها بجانب الخلود ملكا لا ينتهي. And the second attempt to tempt Adam is to promise him, if he eats from it, not just immortality, but a kingdom that doesn't fade. إذن فإبليس يصور الإنسان أن ما منعه الله عنه هو الخير. Oh, this is important. Therefore, Satan promises humans that whatever Allah prohibits from him is what's good for him. You hear people say, drinking alcohol, that's actually good for you. Putting my money in a bank that deals with interest is good for the economy. It's good for my finances. Having intimacy before marriage is good for marriage, because now you know for sure if you want to have intimacy with them. Yeah, this is his style. This is his signature. That's how we know that this is from Satan. He shows you, he tries to convince you that whatever Allah is trying to protect you from by prohibiting it, it was your best interest. He took from you something that is good for you. وأنه لو عصى فسيحصل على المال والنفوذ. And he tells humans that if you disobey Allah, you will get money and power. ولقد أكل آدم وحواء من الشجرة فلم يخلدها ولم يأتي لهما ملكا لا ينتهي. And Adam and his wife ate from the tree, and neither did they become immortal, and neither were they given a kingdom that doesn't fade. It didn't work. بل ظهرت عورتهما وعرفا أن إبليس كان كاذبا. But their nakedness was revealed to them, and they found out that Satan was a liar. وأن الله سبحانه وتعالى بمنهجه وما ينهانا عنه إنما كان يريد لهم الخير. And they realized that Allah, with his the way of living that he gave us, and whatever he told us not to do, Allah wanted what's best for us. Let's stop here because my voice is hurting. No. If you have any questions before I go? What is this? Wait. Why? Oh God. What page? We're at page 30, right? Ah. Oh, page 31. So let's set a bookmark. Save. Yay! Inshallah, tomorrow we'll pick up from here. So before I forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I would appreciate it if you would like my video. And if you have any questions or comments, I do my best to answer all the comments, not just on YouTube, but also Instagram and TikTok. And thank you so much for everyone who supports what I do here. Thank you so much for my gifters. Thank you so much for my subscribers on TikTok. Thank you so much for my 2 Patreons, Jack and Shahid Iqbal. I appreciate your trust and support. Let me see if you guys have any questions before I go. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Khalil says, ما شاء الله عليكي Sarahnade, لو كان الشعراوي موجود لكان الأكثر فخرا. Oh my god, don't make me cry. Khalil says, ما شاء الله, Sarahnade, if Sha'rawi, the author, was alive, he would have been the most proud of you. I really hope so. I told you guys that 2 weeks ago when I decided to do this series, I had a dream about him, that I was in a palace that belongs to him, and that I was one of the trainees, that I was there to train under him, to learn from him, and he told me that I'm his favorite. So that was a beautiful dream, and that's when I woke up, that was my sign, because I prayed istikhara, which is a special prayer in Islam when you don't know like what to do, which option to choose. I didn't know whether to do my reflections alone like I used to do, like only my opinions, or whether to reflect on his reflections. So I was blessed with this beautiful dream, and I decided to work on his, set my ego aside. And there's no shame on building on what other Muslims have built. That's how we reach new heights. And actually, fun fact, all of his 30 books, they start with a handwritten note that says, I ask God that my reflections are the key to the reflections of whoever comes after me. I mean, you didn't even need to ask. Anyways, do you have any questions? What's the name of the channel? Queen Sarahnade. One word. Queen Sarahnade. The link is in my bio. Khalil says Sha'rawi is the best one who interpreted the Holy Quran. Oh, and you're the best of whoever carried his message. No, you're giving me way too much credit. Now I have to go. Okay. Okay. I have to go before I turn tomato red. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for your love and support. I love you too in Allah, or for the sake of Allah. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless your families. May Allah grant all your wishes. May Allah protect you all for me, because you are my family now. Even the ones that disagree with me, I I hope Allah guides your heart. And till we meet again, I leave you in God's peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.